Welcome back to Getting Started with Linux. I'm your host, Daniel Lowrie. Today's episode, we're going to take a look at editing text. Joining me always, our good friend, Ross Brunson. Ross, glad to have you back. How's it going today?
Thanks. Yeah, good. Very good. So, editing text.
Editing text.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
I mean, title's kind of self-explanatory. There's text. We needed to be changed. Make differences. Remove, add, all sorts of great stuff.
Right.
The question is, how do we do that?
Well, there's several editors. Okay, there's a lot of editors.
There's a lot of editors. It's Linux.
Oh, a lot of editors.
If it's not Babette's Feast for tools, it's not Linux.
Right, there needs to be at least 13 of something in order to feel good about that. So, because I know that you love Nano so much,
I do.
We'll do that second.
Good.
Okay. All right.
That's the way
So
I like it.
So there's the big three. There's VI or VIM,
Which is probably the biggest hit,
improved.
right? Yeah.
Well, it just depends.
Yeah.
Right. Depends on if you're in the development community and you've spent a lot of time getting used to Emacs and using all the modules and Emacs speak and all that stuff like that.
Is my nose bleeding?
Yeah. No, your ears.
Yeah.
Your ears are. So I work with a lot of people who love Emacs. Okay. Emacs is kind of like, well, it's really a lifestyle. Okay. It's one of those things that you get into because you really need to. But there's a whole community that works with Vim. And so Vim is one of those things that the reason why everybody, I think, personally, needs to know a little bit of Vim is because the other editors may not be installed. It's because of size, and if you're trimming down a system, working on it and saying, this is going to be a virtualized server, I'm going to pull everything out of there I possibly can. And it just seems almost sacrilegious to pull Vim or VI off of a system. Yeah. Now, I can throw Nano right off the boat, and I can say, Emacs, I don't use that one. But Vim is really one of those things that needs to be ubiquitous. Okay? All right. Now, someday, that might be Nano. But
here's hoping.
Yeah. Well, good. You can lead that movement. How's
yes,
that?
I'll
you
do
can
the
have
best I
the
can.
Nano Appreciation Society if you'd like to. I'll stick with the Vim.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm concerned about this is because if you are working on a system and there isn't another text editor and you don't have Vim skills, you might be in a certain amount of trouble because I have seen people do crazy things to get out of a session where they're not editing something properly. The primary problem that people have is they'll go somewhere like the Etsy directory for hosts, and as a normal user, sorry, I'm speaking about users, as a regular user, and users aren't normal, the regular user, they'll do something like Vim and then the hosts file. Now, all seems to be just fine. However, the problem is if I go and I just want to delete something, it'll say, warning, changing a read-only file. It appears for just a moment down there at the bottom. The real horror begins when you try to write the file, read-only option, okay? Oh, you know what? It tells me that I can use the exclamation point to overwrite that. So I'll do write and then exclamation point. And it comes back and says, that's nice, but you can't do that either. So I've seen people get stuck like this, not know what to do. They're in class, and they don't want to ask. So they'll basically reboot the system.
Seems logical.
Folks, don't do this. Not good. If you reboot the system at this point, what's going to happen is next time you start VI, it's going to come back and tell you there's a SWP file, and you're not going to know what to do with that either. Okay? So what you do in order to get out of this kind of arrangement here, you've made a change to the in-memory buffer. So when you're editing a file in VI, you make changes to the in-memory buffer, and then you write that buffer to disk, or you do whatever with it. But if you can't write it to disk, you can't exit easily either. So I might go, let's just go ahead and quit. No, I can't write, I can't quit, I can't really do anything except quit and exclamation point. When I do that, it thankfully lets me out.
The size of relief happened, the
Right.
wiping of the sweat off the brow,
Absolutely.
the whole nine. We've all been there.
So I haven't had to reboot the system.
No.
I don't have to reinstall, okay? Seen that happen too. I swear I've seen that happen. So I want to explain the use of that character. So there are various characters that you have seen us use, just before we go really into VI. You've seen us use the asterisk, or the star, or also, I love this one, the splat. So I asked somebody one time, I said, why do you use the word splat? Well, this is what we've used. And I said, what does that mean? And they said, imagine you're on the top of a 4-story parking garage and you drop a blueberry. And it goes, splat. It's like, Okay. All right, then. So, and then this one, which is the hash symbol.
The octothorpe.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, Professor.
I've read a book.
That's right. The hash symbol or the pound sign.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever. Okay, that's a good one. And then, of course, there's this one. And because this almost always occurs after you have failed to do something in VI, instead of a exclamation point, we might call it a bang or a damn it. As in quit.
Yeah.
Now, quit. Damn it. Okay. All right. So there we go. So let's go ahead and let's create a new file with Vim. Now, you can invoke Vim or VI just by typing Vim and hit enter. But if you know the file that you're going to create, you can go ahead and give it that file as a name and it'll attach it to the buffer and you're very happy. So let's do new file 1. When I do that, I am landed in what's known as command mode. So there's command mode and insert mode and last line mode. Are you confused yet? Okay, command mode, let's demystify these. I want you to think of a large warehouse. Command mode is you standing on the scaffolding up above the warehouse floor and issuing commands. Ship that to so-and-so. Pack that to so-and-so. Move that from here to there. So you're issuing commands by typing characters, but what happens are actions, not you typing the characters. So command mode is directing what's happening. Now, if you press I, lowercase or uppercase, A, lowercase or uppercase, or O, uppercase or lowercase, those all drop you off the scaffolding down into the warehouse, and you're in insert mode. And now you can pack things in boxes. You can move things around. You can type things, and they'll actually be the characters that you type.
That sounds helpful.
Command mode, up above, directing things. Insert mode, boom, you're down on the factory floor. You are causing things to happen exactly as you want them to do.
All right.
Now, how do you get out of insert mode and go back to command mode?
Asking it nicely?
You hit the escape key.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, for many, many years, you hit the escape key twice. Just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
All right.
Good. Because a lot of times you think, I hit that escape key.
Did I or did I not?
Typing.
And when it goes beep, then you know that you've done it. So if you hit the escape key, it takes you back up to command mode. And from command mode and command mode only, you can do something called last line mode. Last line mode always, and let's go back to the machine, always begins with the colon character, or maybe if you're searching, you can do a /, but last line mode starts with a colon. And for example, I might want to say, well, I want to write this file, and I want to quit. So I could simply write the file. Let's see, where was I? Oh, I'm in Etsy.
You're in Etsy.
Very good. Very
You're not
good.
writing in Etsy.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Not as a normal user. Let's go back to here. So let's see, Vim, new file 1. There we go. Okay, like I was saying, if I go to last line mode and I hit W, it's going to write the file, and it notes it down here and says new file 1 has been created, 0 lines, 0 bytes, but it was written.
It was there.
So now what I could do is I could hit insert mode. I is the most simple one. And this is a file. I can hit escape. Notice that it pops back out of insert mode. And now I can say :W. And it tells me that it's written 1 line and 15 characters. So it gives you visual information. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know what VI stands for. It stands for Visual Editor. So V for visual, and then the I.
For editor.
Because editor has an I in it.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Vowels are fun.
I jokingly say that it stands for very intuitive.
Yeah, as you can tell.
Yeah,
super intuitive there.
Sometimes, well, we have to provide the bridge between the tool and being intuitive.
Ah.
Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get out of here. So I'll just quit. Because I've already saved the buffer, made no changes, I can just colon and then quit. Okay, so we've gone in, we've talked about command mode, which is up above. We've talked about insert mode, which is you typing and things happen. We've talked about going back to command and then do a file operation of some kind, write it, quit it, etc. Okay, so that's a little bit about VI. Let's have a little bit of fun here, though. Let's edit the release notes. So let's go to text processing and Vim release notes.txt. All right, it will show me where I was the last time I was in here. Let's teach you a little bit about moving around inside VI. Number one, inside VI, just like a lot of places, you can hit a number and then capital G to go to that line. So I'll hit the numeral 1 and then capital G, and it'll take me to position number 1. How do you know you're in position number 1 if you don't know the file? Look right down here, and you'll see 1, 1. That means I'm on line 1, position 1, or column 1, or that I've just gone to the top. Now, for example, I might want to go to 35, capital G, and it takes me to column 1 on line 35. So you can move around the file. If you just want to go to the end of it, press capital G, and now I'm at line 2967, quite a bit down the way there. And so this is how I move around inside VI, or Vim, as the case may be. I use them interchangeably. Probably I'll get a letter about that.
Well,
but
I think most modern systems map VI to Vim, don't they?
Yeah, there's quite the underlying set of things that are happening there. So let's go capital G and go back to the top. Now, one of the other things here, let's say that I want to make changes to the text that's in here. I can hit I for insert mode. Now, I for insert mode drops you into the file exactly at the cursor point, and that's where you're at. Let's hit escape and get back out. Notice I had to hit escape twice. Yes, so double tap it. Now, if I were here on this, and I wanted to add a line below the current line, do I press O or capital O? Let's try it. I'm going to press O for open a line below the current one. Now, if I'm back out of insert mode and I'm right here on this one, let's go to the second one there. Let's press Shift O, and it opens a line above. Now, when you're searching in VI and you hit lowercase n for next, or Shift capital N for back, it starts to make sense.
I got you.
Okay? So another one that's really fun, that's very useful, is let's say I'm at the in this line here, and I'm about halfway down the line, and I think, oh, you know what? I'd like to add something to the end of this particular line of text. Excellent. I can press Shift A. It goes to the very end of the current line in the row there and puts me in insert mode. So now I can say this is a product-specific set of information. Okay. I hit escape, and there I've saved it. Now here is one of the most useful tricks with VI ever. And that is, I want to get rid of everything that I've just done. I have not performed a file write operation of any kind. I just keep hitting the U key until it's done.
Very nice.
It's unlimited undo back to the most recent write.
That should be a feature of anything that edits anything.
Well,
I can do unlimited undos.
I noticed there's no Control Z for real life.
I know, right?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Come on.
Come on, developers, work on that for us.
Let's get this done.
All right. So let's say I want to do some searching and replacing.
Okay.
So some sed, like since we've already learned a little bit about sed
right.
and the /s/ whatever, let's do a search and replace in here of everything that we did before. So we'll do colon and then %. Percent simply says, hey, by the way, we're about to do some searching. And so we'll do an s/, so search action, what am I searching for? SUSE, and then ROS6, oops. And remember, it'll do the first on the line, but not any more than the first one if we leave off the G. So we'll hit the G and hit enter, and it'll come back and it'll tell me I did 150 substitutions on 141 lines. Now, I still haven't written anything to disk. We're still in the memory buffer, right? So if I want to get out of this, I just go colon, Q, and exclamation point, and I'm done.
I like it.
Right?
Rage quit.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other thing would be, let's say that I wanted to reload the file, or let's edit another file. I can do colon E, and then my new file 2, and it'll say, wait a second, you haven't written this file. What do you want to do? I could literally say my new file 2, and I think I might have to go back here. There we go, and oops, that was an edit, sorry. There we go. So, and it will do it.
There we go.
Now, what happened to the previous one?
That's a great question.
It dumped it.
I said, nah, I'm done with this.
But notice you had to explicitly say, I'm going to use this exclamation point, the damn it, and
Yeah.
get rid of this.
Just do what I told you.
Exactly. Yes, no, I know what I'm doing. Oh, wait, no, I didn't.
Bring it back. Is that Control Z still here? Those unlimited undos? Can I undo that?
Yeah, not anymore. So now we're in here. Let's say that we want to edit, several files, or we want to do some operations with things. So one of the things that I really like is the ability to say, I want to go into a file, and then I want to be able to use some visual trickery here, and let's open up two files. So the first thing I'll do is let's use simple ones. So I'll say vim names. Oops, there we go. And now I'm going to do a thing called split. Split, and then numbers. If I do that, it loads numbers and names in split windows.
Ah.
So the way that you get in between them, boy, this took me a while to figure out, it's yours for free, is Control W and then W to switch windows. Control W and then fingers off W, which switches between the windows. Now, another really fun thing that you can do is, let's say that you have two files and you go, you know what? I can't remember. Did I make any changes to release notes, or did I leave it as SUSE? Well, fear not at all. Let's do vsplit and release notes.txt. Hey, there you go. So let's look in here to see all the SUSEs in there. So what I have now is I have a one across the top, and I have two down below. A split is a horizontal split. A v-split is, and now remember, when you do the split, you can load the file at the exact same time. Now, there's two ways to get out of this. One of them is to keep hitting :Q, 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 or you can press :QA. :QA says, drop them all. We're out.
Yep.
If there are no buffer changes, you're out. Not a problem. Okay? So this is just, let's just say this is a nice introduction to VI. There's a whole lot more stuff that you can do with VI. Remember, in a previous session, we talked about the concept of vimdiff.
Yes.
Okay, so if you haven't watched that one, please go back and look at the other one. I can't remember which one it's in, but vimdiff. And vimdiff is how you take two versions of a particular file and compare them side by side with annotations. So it shows you what happened.
Great stuff.
Okay, now what are we going to do? We're going to work with this
Nano.
other. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Work with Nano. Now, just a quick note about Nano or Nano or Nano. Yeah, Nano or Nano, whatever, comes from the concept of a editor many years ago called Pico. Pico was a free for use but non-open source, I think. Anyway, it had some encumbrances, and so there was quite a bit of discussion about, let's not include this because it's not an open source tool. And so somebody sat down and did a clean room version of Pico with some improvements and called it Nano. Right? So Nano, we can just go into Nano. Hey, guess what? It's not installed. Huh. What can we do? See what I said? Remember
garbage
that?
system is this?
Remember that? I said they're not going to be in there all the time. So what we'll have to do is sudo zipper ref, because follow our own instructions all the time. Okay, and then we'll do a sudo zipper in Nano. Okay, so this is one of the issues that we have. Certain distributions don't use certain editors.
So don't use those distributions.
No. Use those distributions and get some peace with Vim.
I hate it.
Well, see, that's the thing. And so if you have production systems and they don't include some, let's face it, pet tool that we like, then you have to make a decision about, are you going to put unsupported software on a production system and possibly cause a problem like it not being covered by the support that you've paid for?
I would say that
Wow.
the answer a lot of times is probably yes. Like, I think
You could.
just from my experience,
Yeah, you could.
people go, oh yeah, that's my pet tool. What's going on there?
Right.
It's just a good idea to be able to work with all the tools that might show up on your system
Yep.
that are kind of common.
Okay, so now Nano, really, let's just explain it to everybody. Nano is a pretty straightforward text editor. Anytime you've ever used something that's a text editor that has like menu commands and things like that, that's what Nano is.
Yeah.
It's really easy to use. And again, when we talk about Vim, Nano, Emacs, things like that, these are command line tools. I think there's a GVim. I don't think there's a G Nano. There might be. Could be.
It's called Sublime.
Yeah, right. Or Atom,
Yeah,
or
Atom, yeah.
VS Code.
Whatever you like.
But the other thing is that you really have to understand text editing from the command line. If you don't understand text editing from the command line, your chances of loading a GUI on a production system in order to be able to run Kate or gedit
Yeah,
are
pretty low.
like zero.
Yeah.
Okay, and people will not trust a consultant who comes in and has to load a GUI tool to edit a text file. Not going to happen. They'll like put the screwdriver
Yeah.
down,
Step away
get
from the
away from my
server.
system.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
No
you're not
more
work-
access.
Yeah, you're not working. Remove the security badge. We're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's a really good idea to have a Nano Vim knowledge. If you'd like to get into Emacs, you can do that. It's a bit of a project, but from my developer friends, they say it's worth it.
Okay.
All right. So that pretty much covers our wrap up of the text editors.
Awesome stuff. Thanks so much, Ross. And thank you for watching. But it is time for us to call it quits, and we'll see you next time.